What's up, Pokemon trainers, Pokemon breeders, and Pokemon masters alike? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys another part. I believe it's the final part of our gold GenLocke challenge. Let's go, let's go. We made it so far. And some of you might be asking yourselves, what is a GenLocke? And why am I watching part 7, 8, something like that, of a series? I don't know. You answer that question. But just in case you're jumping in to part 7, 8, 9, whatever I'm on. There it is. A Generation Lock. A GenLocke is basically a Nuzlocke challenge. Suffice to say, a Nuzlocke, we already know what that is. Not going to go down that rabbit hole. But we're playing the GenLocke version of that, which is basically subsequent Nuzlockes all tied together with a bit of a twist, a bit of a bonus at the end, depending on how well we do, to upgrade our Hall of Famers into even better versions of themselves going forward into the next gen. You play gens 1 through whatever point you want to stop at, usually in chronological order, but you can switch it up, though sometimes that creates issues depending on how your ROMs work or if you're doing it legit on actual cartridges. It just depends. But either way, I think this is the end of our gold run of our GenLocke, so let's see if we make it to the next leg of the run. Without further ado, let's go. So without further ado, we're jumping straight in to Janine's gym. I believe it's Janine, not Janice. It's Janine, right? Yeah, Janine. Koga's cousin, niece, daughter, sister. There's a lot. It depends on your translation for a lot of this stuff. But either way, yeah, we're jumping in. Now, we've talked about this a few times because we're going to have to basically talk over this because it's kind of boring, but I promise to everybody every time we're going to do all the gym battles because of my rule set. If it wasn't for my rule set, I'd probably cut this out and these videos would be a lot shorter, right? Because for those of you who don't know, the gym leader clause says that once you enter a gym, you cannot leave. So I can't run out and heal to the Pokemon Center. I can't go buy more items. I can't do anything. Guys are poisoned. It's kind of too bad. You know, that kind of idea. So I can use items, of course. There's no restrictions inside the gym, but that's it, right? As a result of that rule set, as that extra rule, which is one of my many extra rules to make this difficult, I choose to show all the gameplay so everyone knows I'm not cheating. Simple as that. Simple as that. But yeah, like, why add that rule and then never show the gameplay? You know, on the live streams, it was no big deal, but these are recorded videos after the fact, so I just want to make sure that there's no, any of that. To lower the scrutiny, as it were, because you know that the police of the Pokemon Nuzlocke community are out there, and they are fierce, and they are looking for false people. In fact, they're still trying the case of Missigno. I mean, just saying. But yeah, so either way, we led this particular gym with Apollo, who is quite overleveled, as you can tell. But he's not overleveled in the sense because the gym leaders are, or the gym trainers, are just too damn weak. You know, they got level 36s, level 30s and stuff, and we're pushing 50. We're level 48, and we're just going to completely destroy these gyms. So it's best to have our all-rounder, like Apollo, go in there, you know, a fighting type, and just use normal type moves, use strength, use our overwhelming attack power to really do some heavy damage here, right? So, and that's what we're doing, as you guys can see. Level 34 Arbok is nothing to a level 48 Apollo. Apollo Creed. He got them fisticuffs. He's got that speed. He's ready to go. And smack you down while he's doing it. So, yeah, we're doing fine here. And of course, but the gym leader is going to have like level 40s and stuff. So it sort of works out, but once again, we all know Gen 2 has a serious scaling problem. Like, I've never played this way. I try to just be fair in my own assessment, right? I don't grind with the speed up function for 7 hours and then jump into the third gym with a level, you know, with a Charizard. You know, I just don't do that shit. But, oh yeah, we do miss one gym trainer because now we actually do fight the leader Janine. We find her early or whatever. So, missed out on a little bit of experience, but, and never mind, only has a level 36. Please tell me you have at least one level 40. Your gym trainers had level 36s. Come on, Janine, you gotta show me something. Though, did survive that, but the Screech missed. We go for the strength. You know, but once again, Gen 2 has, as I was saying, Gen 2 has a really big problem with scaling. And as a result, I would hate to do that rule that a lot of people do. The level cap rule is something I've never really followed, as I was saying. And I would hate to try to do that for Gen 2. In other games, it works for the most part. It's a challenge, but it works. In this gen, you'd have to box half your team by the time you got to Kanto. You know, it'd just be ridiculous. And a level 39 Venomoth came to play. I was worried about the Psychic, so I jumped in with Wild Wing, because you need a little bit of that Mighty Duck power. Jump in, uses a double team. It doesn't matter because Surf, one hit KO. Wild Wing is the GOAT. He's still the MVP. He's still the MVP goalie, like what we need. Now level 33 Ariados. Really? These mean we don't have a level 40 in the gym? Like, see, and this is why what makes, once again, I think the battle with Red is still awesome and stuff, but I think it's just the trial of getting even close to the 60s and 70s to fight him. Because you can't go up there. I mean, I'm sure people have done it. I'm sure challengers have beaten him with the level 1 Caterpie and all these things, or a level 100 Magikarp and stuff. But at the end of the day, there are certain battles where it's just like, yeah, well, it's such a slog to get to an appropriate level. Because in general, most people aren't going to beat the Elite Four a second time, have maybe level 52s up to 55s at best. And like I assume that we will probably end up with. And then be able to fight Red. Red has level 77s, and they're not shit Pokemon. So, yeah. Anyways, we do get the Soul Badge from Janine. Koga, of course, joined the Elite Four because he's a badass. So that's awesome. I'm surprised it's not Blaine, but Koga is definitely an excellent pick. I think if the Kanto Gym Leaders in order were going to go up, I think it would be so Koga joined. I think it'd be obviously Giovanni, right? Like Giovanni's sort of the GOAT there. So here we're in, of course, the Cerulean City Gym. We entered. We're gonna face. I think I was looking for the parts or something like. I don't know what I was doing there. Like asking if I wanted to surf a few times. I have no idea. Anyway, we're starting off with Copper, who is already level 50, as I said. Like, see, this is the thing. By the time you finish the Elite Four a second time and go to fight Red, which I did find out I made a mistake. We'll talk about that later on, because I know that happens in this video. But either way, because I also thought about where it's a GenLocke, do I need to go fight Red? You know, technically you beat the game at the Elite Four. I could have stopped it at the Johto and not done the Kanto portion of it. Then I thought, no, that's not part of the game, and you could argue that this is all post-game. There is a definite argument that Kanto is post-game. 100%. Especially with New Age, but back then, no, this was the full game. I would argue that back then we didn't have post-game like we do today. Post-game is sort of a New Game Plus, and post-game was something that came out long after Gold and Silver. It's not really a thing in this generation, so I don't consider Kanto to ever be post-game. The best argument is that Red is a secret boss at best, but nothing in Gold and Silver is post-game. Nothing in Gens basically 1 through 4 is post-game, really. Maybe Battle Frontier, Battle Tower, that kind of stuff you could argue maybe, but yeah, none of this stuff is really post-game. That was something that happened later, you know. See, a final secret boss or a secret level, sure, but not a full post-game, you know. So, yeah, or you can make the argument that this was the first one and it was long ahead of its time, where you have a whole another 10 to 20 hours to push into a game, you know. You can make that argument too. So, and obviously with Copper here, we're absolutely destroying this team. It's realistically, it's hard to watch, so that's why I'm commenting other things right now, you know what I mean? So yeah, so Copper is beating all the swimmers. Boom, no problem. there we go. We defeated the horse, and we might... No, not quite. Not quite enough. But yeah, I think we were... I don't know why we were trying to surf there. I don't know why we were looking at that stuff. So now, yeah, like, look, 51, 50, 50, 51, 1 level 49 left, and now we're going to go face off against Misty. Like, what? Yeah, so I don't think we showed us getting the parts or anything like that. I mean, why bother, right? So, either way, now we're up against Misty. Sends out a Golduck. We have the MVP Golduck of our own, but the difference is we don't have the type disadvantage. Because we have Psychic. We have Psychic. And then I'm very shocked and saying, okay, Misty thinking got Psychic on her Golduck. And I'm like, alright, that's cool. I'm glad I didn't start with Apollo. Boom, Wild Wing grows to 50, so now everybody's level 50. That's excellent. We're doing quite well there. Now we jump into Quagsire, the definition of the problem back then when nobody knew what a Quagsire was. I can still remember to this day jumping into here and, you know, having a hard time with this goddamn thing because I generally always had a Feraligatr, not a Typhlosion, but a Feraligatr. I had an Ampharos and stuff, but I didn't really have, there wasn't really many grass options. To be fully honest with you, especially with no leaf stones and stuff available, there was no real grass options, you know, unless you had a Chikorita and stuff. So this thing jumping in, it was like, what a pain in the ass. Water ground was such a, Quagsire was a wall for the longest time, just stupidly strong. And this Lapras is showing that it's no slouch. Even 6 levels lower. Hits the Blizzard, of course, it, you know, it's not very effective for us, but still, it's able to take our hits pretty well, though unfortunately for the Lapras, we get a crit there. That was a very generous crit that we got, and now pulls out her, of course, her ace in the hole, Starmie. I still want to see a Misty with, who of course takes after Lorelei, her mentor. I'd really like to see her with a Gyarados one day. Because, of course, the anime had the whole she fears Gyarados thing and all that stuff. And the manga has done things with Gyarados before. I'd like to see her with one of the ultimate water Pokemon, you know, from that region and stuff like that. So, and of course, Gyarados is beloved to this day. Like, I don't care. We have over 1,000 Pokemon now. Gyarados is still one of the coolest. You know, you'd never take Gyarados off of a top 50 out of 1,000. You just wouldn't. If Gyarados is not in your top 50, I don't know if you've been playing Pokemon properly, you know what I mean? So, but we do switch out to Copper, we take the hit and all that stuff, but we do get the final hit off on the Starmie. We go to level 51, right then and there. A little bit of a risky move, in all honesty. Could have ended poorly, we could have had a crit or something like that. You know, you still gotta watch out. We're at 45 HP, so it was nothing to sneeze at. We receive the Cascade Badge, and we do defeat Misty, so there we go. And now, what's the next thing we do? Probably face Brock? Yeah, we're going up against Brock, which one trainer, so this is really quick. Which is nice. And Blaine, and like, I like the fact that gyms 7 and 8 and 1 are all only one trainer between 3 gyms. You know, some of the gyms, like, we did Surge wasn't so long, but we did Celadon and Fuchsia and Saffron. So many trainers long as shit. It's really not too bad, sort of along the lines of Vermilion. But now we're sitting here, you know, and we just have to defeat a Sandslash. No longer a Sandshrew, but a Sandslash. Sandshrew. And we defeat him with Apollo, and that was it. No Doug Trio though. But maybe I'm thinking of yellow version. They had Sandshrew and Diglett in yellow, I believe. And here we go, boogity boogity boo. Let's go racing, because now we're up against Brock with his Graveler, level 41. And obviously Apollo is the man fit for this job because, oh, Maybe not quite. We don't get, thankfully, Graveler's attack missed. It was a rollout. But we didn't get the crit. Then we get the crit at the end. That was going to guarantee our 41 victory. But Apollo's Karate Chop, of course, isn't that strong without the critical hit. So, a little unfortunate there. So we decided to go for the low kick for the weight difference on the Rhyhorn. Thinking it'll do more damage and maybe one-shot him. It does. So we defeat the Rhyhorn with very little issue. That's good. Here's where he pulls out. I never clued in, you know, until I saw this gym that, of course, the Pewter Museum, their rock types, fossil Pokemon are basically Brock's bread and butter. He's the rock type gym leader, but the fossil Pokemon definitely include, and he's got that water, you know, the water typing there and stuff like that. I'm like, that's excellent. That's actually really cool that he's got the water typing. With an Amistar and stuff like that. I'm like, yes, use more fossil Pokemon. Let's go, Brock. So he brings out an Onix once again. We defeated the Amistar. He brings out the Onix. A low kick is easily going to take out the Onix. We might just get to level 52 here with the final Kabutops at level 42. At level 42, and we go straight for the Cross Chop. We go for the strongest move in our arsenal, and it is enough to defeat the Kabutops and gain us, obviously, to level 52, but Kabutops, love myself with the Kabutops. I think fossil Pokemon are awesome. I really do. I love fossil Pokemon. So Brock is defeated, but there's those were the level 40s I was talking about. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know if Janine's just the weakest one, but like, let's go. Here's some level 40s, and here's where we, of course, as I was saying, we just straight up. There is no gym. We just straight up fight Blaine. Now, of course, Blaine, like always, a fire-type gym, unfortunately, has a bad rap. Because if you were to face a fire-type gym in gyms 1 or 2, it would be a problem. It could very easily be a problem. Unfortunately, they're always in the later half, and then you have an answer to everything. You have an answer to your fire types, you know, by these times. But you imagine facing a Magmar in Gym 2. And you didn't pick Totodile? I'm just saying. You know. Because, I mean, if Bugsy can use a Scyther, I can use a Magmar, right? I'm thinking like a strong 1 evolution Pokemon or something like that. You know, you face a Charmeleon level 2. Or even, at the very least, a Gym 1. Gym 1, you face a weaker Magmar, a Charmeleon, a Ponyta, a Growlithe, you know. They would be powerful in their own rights at that level, you know. And here's our first level 50, I believe, that we're facing, is a Rapidash. But of course, Wild Wing is just taking care of business, but, you know. We all make the joke that you should have brought Burn Heal. Poor Blaine. Poor Blaine. Not getting the respect that he deserves. Because as I was saying, like, if I was going to elevate anybody else to the Elite Four, let's say no Bruno, no Lorelei, no Will, anything like that, on my list of Kanto gym leaders, Blaine would be on there. I'd say Blaine and Brock would be the other two I could see going up. And now we're in Legoland for some reason. We have all level 50s, even a level 54 for God's sakes. So we're doing very well for Johto runs. I don't think many people get a team this high, especially in a Nuzlocke. Without a ton of grinding anyways. So we did very well, obviously. Having your party from the start definitely helps with your leveling capabilities. So now, here's where, yeah, we have a champion level team here. Level 56. He's no weaker than he was. So we start off, that Pidgeot already does decent damage. And we decide, alright, it's Copper. Literally, we had this fight last game. So this is nostalgic as fuck as far as I'm concerned. Because we have this. We have this insane matchup, of course. But it's the same Pokemon that we faced last time with this very team. So isn't that cool? I find that pretty cool. So yeah, this is such a great matchup of having just, you know, the two teams fighting each other again and stuff like that in a totally different region and stuff. It didn't click in until this very fight, but yeah, this is kind of cool. This is really cool. Apologies for the cut, by the way, guys. There was a big mosquito in the room. I just wanted to get rid of him while he was attracted to the lights and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so as you can see, we switch up from Copper into Wild Wing here. We use the Surf. We take the Earthquake hit. It's devastating. Like, that Rhydon is no joke. But with a quick Surf, we get rid of him. And then the Executor comes in at level 58, who's stronger. Like, this team is actually stronger. Green is not playing a fucking around. Or the original Cypher, of course. Cypher is not playing around. Green is not playing around. And he jumps in. And no, I'm not calling him Blue. His name isn't Blue. Sorry. We switch into Ancalagon. The red. Right now, I always say the black, but technically it's orange. Well, technically, Ancalagon the orange. And he flamethrowers this Executor to 1,000,000 pieces, even only being level 52. But our whole team is in the 50s. This team is much stronger, though. That Gyarados looks dangerous, almost level 60. We're going to jump. Do we jump back into Copper and take our chances, though? Because once again, Copper is known for speed and attack. Not for HP, not for defense. So it depends on what this guy goes for. Goes for Rain Dance, which of course if we had Thunder, but I don't trust that low 70% accuracy, so I stick with Thunderbolt. I never teach Thunder anymore. I used to. And if there's no other option or better move, I always have Thunder in the move pool. But if there's anything else that's useful in whatever situation, I always take it. So the Gyarados goes down, and now there's only 2 left. Of course, the Alakazam, the very dangerous Alakazam. I believe we're going to stay out and try one Thunderbolt, because this guy, unlike the other ones that are level 58, this guy's only level 54, but it's still an Alakazam, still Gen 2, very dangerous, and look, still goes for the Reflect, thankfully, so this Thunderbolt, after doing over half damage, will still kill the Alakazam. Yeah, so we got off easy with that Alakazam. That could have gone way worse. And finally, of course, the final one is the Arcanine. Instead of using any of the starters, of course, we get the triple threat. You get the Executor, the Gyarados, and the Arcanine just rotated. They used to be rotated for which one was opted out. I kind of like that. I really do. I kind of like that. It's a cool idea and stuff like that. And once again, Gen 2 did a lot of things. People shit on Gen 2 a lot, but Gen 2 introduced so many mechanics that we love to this day. And it's the forefather of most of the things that people love about Gen 4 and 5 and stuff. Gen 2 was the one to bring it to you. So, you know, just put respect. Just, you know, I just don't like when people don't respect something. You can dislike something, but don't disrespect it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to switch out because this guy is... and yeah, so he used Roar to get us out of there, you know, Arcanine, just trying the last-ditch effort, and what does he pull out? The worst possible Pokemon outside of Rhydon. Like, Rhydon was not going to take any shit off of Arcanine's back, unfortunately. Arcanine, Rhydon, 2 of the coolest Pokemon, and, but no, pulls out Wild Wing, unfortunately, and boom, here we go. So, we do get that one small level up, and boom, we defeat Leader Green, and he's just like, yeah, well, that kind of sucks. So that happened. And we get the, I believe this, yeah, it's still the final badge by beating Gym 8. And now, here is where I believe I make a very bad mistake. Yeah. It's only a mistake because we do not need to fight the Elite Four a second time. Though you could argue once again that you should. But unlike the remakes and stuff, the teams don't change. So we're fighting the exact same Elite Four that we did before. This is simply a repeat battle. But I'm going to bring it to you guys. Because, unfortunately, I found out later that you do not need to defeat the Elite Four a second time after getting all 16 badges to go fight Red, to get access to Mount Silver. You just need to go talk to Professor Oak. For some reason, it's been so long since I played this game all the way through, I forgot that. I forgot, and now sort of paying the price, because if we're going to lose anybody up to the fight to Red, it's probably going to be here in the Elite Four where, you know, sleep happens. We only have so many healing items. I mean, yeah. So, a little dangerous. You could argue that it's also good, you know, EXP training, sure. But in a Nuzlocke, in a GenLocke, dangerous as hell. I'll take my chances. I'll use the speed up function and wild Pokemon at a lower level. Thank you very much. I like my safety net. I like my safety net. So, we do go up against here, against Will. We're doing alright. We're doing fine. We thankfully got out of the sleep with very little issue. And now, see, we're at a point where we are stronger than any of the Elite Four's Pokemon. Strongest Pokemon is a level 50. They did not get an upgrade, like as I said, like they do in the remakes. So, it's all good. Now, you can make an argument here, too. The game, technically, as we already talked about, could have ended at this battle last time. Just the Johto region, you don't need to play Kanto. I disagree with that. Once again, we already had that conversation about post-game shit. So, it's not post-game, Kanto's part of it. Where would you end the game then? I would argue red is the end. Because in this version, in the original version, the Elite Four does not change. You can, after your first battle with them, you can battle them anytime, and they never upgrade in any sense. They never change, they're still the same. So beating them a second time right here was basically a chance for folly, at the very least. But to truly complete Gen 2, you have to beat the Elite Four once, get all 16 badges, and defeat Red once. I would consider that a completion of Silver, Gold, and or Crystal. Now in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I believe when you play the Elite Four a second time, they're upgraded. They're like 10 levels higher or something like that, or 8 or 9 levels higher. They have a couple new Pokemon, that kind of stuff. I know it happens in Fire Red, Leaf Green. I think it happens in Heart Gold, Soul Silver as well. So, yeah. There's just another... but in my personal opinion, when you're playing Gen 2, you need to beat the Elite Four once, get all 16 badges, and defeat Red. For a true completion as far as I'm concerned. So, but we do defeat Will. And we do it pretty handily. So once again, we're upgraded. We know what they're coming with. We sort of have an idea on their strategies. So I did manage to defeat Will pretty handily here. And once again, we're a lot stronger than we were back then. Those extra 10 levels-ish, or at least 5 levels apiece, definitely come in handy. So, I mean, hell, we have a level like 55 right now, which our strongest, I think, was like 46 or something when we first fought them. So, most of our guys are looking closer to the mid-50s than they were the mid-40s. So, now we're up against Koga once again. We make a decision on choosing our starter there, and now we're going to it. And it's Koga. This is Ariados. Once again, a level 40 Ariados. And Caligon starting us off once again. Level 53, 13 levels higher, Flamethrower. No problem. No problem whatsoever. In fact, we could have probably done that with almost anybody. That Ariados, I don't believe, is particularly defensive, so yeah. So the Muck comes out, much now, talking about defense, a lot more, especially defensive. We go for the Flamethrower just to see what type of damage we will do, and it is not quite enough to get rid of the Muck. He, of course, goes straight for the Minimize instead of a Sludge Bomb or something like that. Get him right down to the red. We decide to go for a Wing Attack. It misses. Goes for the Sludge Bomb there. Does not go for a Hyper Potion or a Full Restore, which is odd. Sludge Bomb does a decent amount of damage, and of course it poisons us. So we definitely need to switch out of an Caligon. Now we jump into Nido Boy. Captain of the Dallas Nido Boys. And he goes for the Sludge Bomb. Once again, we assumed it. We're going to take the hit. But it doesn't do anything to us, and it cannot poison us. So then we go for the Earthquake. He hasn't minimized the second time, so the accuracy ain't that, or the evasion isn't so far up. The Earthquake hits, Boom, no problem. Any attack would have worked, but we just went for the Earthquake for the sake of... why not? In jumps the Venomoth. Now, this is where I go, the thing, you know, let's try a Blizzard, you know, before it hits a Psychic, and boom, instead we miss the Blizzard, we get hit with the Psychic. It doesn't do as much as I thought it would, but I'm still a little scared, so then I look at who do I switch into, and I realize I don't really have anybody to switch into. Then I also realize Venomoth isn't a flying type. I don't need the chance on Blizzard. I can literally just Earthquake this thing. The wings were doing it for some reason. The wings were giving me this illusion or this disillusion of, you know, it's got a flying type, and abilities, of course, at this point aren't there. So there's no levitate. There's none of that. So I'm just like, why am I doing this? Then it brings out the Fortress, of course, level 43. We switch into a Heracles. And we decided to go for the dig. Fortress goes for the spikes. And that's when the Swift comes in. I always thought the idea that... and of course goes for the protect. So dig is not going to be very helpful right now. We tried again, of course, though. And I always thought that Swift should even hit people that were up in the air or down below. Goes for protect again, of course. So this is going to be the battle of attrition right now, and I believe I'm already frustrated with it, so I go for strength, even though I know it's not going to be very effective. I decided to go for it, and a critical hit. At first I was like, damn, I can win this with this, but it's a critical hit and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. But then I realized that Swift does so little, he's not going to do anything else. He's got spikes, protect, and that. I don't know what his last one must be, self-destruct or explosion, obviously. So he's not going to do it near enough. I've already got him down to the yellow with that easy critical to begin with. So we're going to easily... and we get a second critical hit. I know this is worth it. So I just, instead of trying to switch him out on the protect and stuff like that, or make him lose PP, which is weird because some... I forget which gen where they actually lose PP and when they don't, or when they did and now they don't. I always forget, so I don't play the PP stall game with the NPCs with the game. So Crobat jumps in and uses double team right into the gate, of course, much faster than we are. We decided to stay in with Heracles, our wonderful ride on our rock, quite literally, and we go for a strength, which. Critical hit, I think, mattered to kill a level 44 Crobat, but our attack is very high. We defeat Koga, and there we go. So there's 2 under wraps, but once again, this is all just a folly. If we lose anybody here in this Elite Four match, that is an unnecessary loss because I didn't do my research. So, yeah. Here's where I go for the full restore on Ancalagon, because it uses up only 1 item and it gets rid of a lot of our problems. So unfortunately we have 2 guys otherwise a little bit hurt. I'm thinking about starting this with Apollo. Then I think about it and I go, no, how about Wild Wing? Because Wild Wing, of course, has the effectiveness against both fighting and rock types, and boom, we're going in against Bruno. Now Apollo will probably start us off against Karen. So we've made it through 2 Elite Four members. Here's our 3rd. We always get confused because Bruno, of course, was 2nd before and stuff like that, you know. So sometimes it gets a little confusing, but yeah, this is already our 3rd Elite Four member. And we haven't lost anybody, and no real close calls. And right out of the gate, of course, against a Hitmontop that we're much stronger than, 10 levels higher than, we're going to use Psychic and one-shot him. I'm not too worried about Bruno. I'm more worried, I'm honestly the most worried about Karen. I think we have a strategy between Wild Wing and stuff. We have a strategy for Lance. Karen's the strongest, I would argue. Karen's one of the hardest. So yeah, we get to level 55 after killing the Hitmonchan. And then boom, what jumps in? But of course, the brother, the Hitmonlee. We're outspeeding everybody. Of course we would, being over 10 levels higher. We're level 55. You know, the level to finally reach Dragonite. So, I mean, you know, I'm not about to lose to some level 40s. Now this level 46 comes in, this Machamp, and I'm like, can I one-shot a level 46 Machamp? Yes, I can. Without a critical hit, yes, I can. So, Wild Wing proving himself once again to be the MVP. Yandex comes in. We just go for the easy surf here. And boom. As I said, Bruno's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about what comes after Bruno. If we can get through Karen, then I think we can handle Lance. I think we can handle Lance. And then, of course, we have to deal with you know who eventually, because as I've been repeatedly saying this video, I don't consider a Nuzlocke or a game over until you defeat Red. It's not really a secret boss, it's the final boss, right? Okay, Karen. What do you got for me? Here we go. Karen is starting and an Umbreon as always. I like the silver sprite better, by the way. Gold sprites are usually better, but silver's Umbreon's better. And now we go straight for the cross chop. We're not betting on that karate chop critical. We're going for the cross chop for the super effective hit. And boom, with the level advantage and the cross chop hitting, strongest fighting move, you know, that we got. Boom. We get rid of one of the hardest tanks in her arsenal right out of the gate. And instead of switching out to the easy idea and Caligon, we stay in for a strength hit to do almost half damage to the Vileplume. Only just sort of looks like a dark Pokemon in this game. They made her look like a dark type. You know, like this evil bitch. So that's why she's on the team, realistically. There just wasn't enough dark types, I guess. Strength again. Now, if this is a high roll, boom, 2 hits. We are paralyzed, unfortunately, but Apollo came in and swept twice. And once again, another non-dark type, Gengar, comes in. It's like, oh man, you really didn't have enough dark types for a dark type trainer, did you? Like, you do it with Lance and other trainers all the time and Agatha and stuff. Why not just have, like, an Umbreon as your signature, 2 Houndooms or 2 Murkrows, a Houndoom, and a Houndour. You know, you could have had all dark types. Wouldn't have been an issue. But we do switch into Wild Wing. We get the Psychic off, no problem. Boom. Once again, Wild Wing proven to be that MVP. Murkrow jumps in, and we go for the Icy Wind here, just to get that super effective hit. And it does over half. And straight up kills because Murkrow is not really that great a Pokemon, unfortunately. Unfortunately. They make these Pokemon and they don't think, like, stat-wise maybe they should be viable in some way. Granted, not every Pokemon can be viable, but you make this one standalone, really cool Dark-type Pokemon, and then you don't make them worthwhile for anybody to use. That's annoying. Like, I loved Murkrow. And once again, that's another thing. Houndoom and the dark types sprites in silver, way superior. The Murkrow sprite is actually terrifying. It looks awesome. So we do defeat Karen. We don't have an issue. Now we're on to Lance. We got this. We got this. So the door closes behind us, and now we're into the last fight of our bad choice to go into this thing. So the music cuts out, and boom, we're up against the most powerful trainer, the greatest dragon trainer, and I still argue. I still like to think that Drake from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald is like Lance's and like part of the family still, and Claire's like uncle or something like that, or like a distant relative or something. Like I like to think that. I really do. So obviously starting off with the Gyarados, I mean, it's the same every time. Raichu is going to do his thing. Copper is that guy. We're going to stay in against the first Dragonite. We're going to try ourselves a Thunderbolt because it's going to be neutral damage and we have very high special attack. Look at that. Got over half, and then of course instead of attacking us, it goes for the Thunder Wave. That's a bit of an issue because we know that that Hyper Beam's coming next. So we switch into Heracles, take the Hyper Beam attack, which does nothing to our wall, nothing to our main man. We use Strength. I wish we had something better, but we don't. Strength is still a very good move and manages to do enough to kill the Dragonite from under half health. Now, we've already gotten rid of 2 of Lance's 6 Pokemon. Jumps into the second of 3 Dragonites. This is where I'm curious. Is this the Blizzard one? If it's the Blizzard one, we might have an issue on our hands. I don't really want to take that risk because one Blizzard that hit would kill Rhydon. So, since I'm not sure if the level 50, I believe the level 51 has the Fire Blast, so I'm still a little nervous here. We jump into and Caligon, and it is the Blizzard one who did miss with Blizzard. I wasn't willing to take that chance. And Caligon, however, has Dragon Breath. Though not a great move, it still does over half, just like Thunderbolt did. This one also has Thunder Wave, goes for the Thunder Wave, and paralyzes our guy. Also goes for a Hyper Beam, which does a fair amount of damage, but thankfully the paralysis doesn't matter. And we get another Dragon Breath off and kill Dragonite in 2 hits. Of course, our levels do matter. Dragon Breath's not a great move, but paralysis could have went either way. That was lucky. Now in comes the Aerodactyl, level 46. At 105, I don't like the idea of taking a Rock Slide, so I believe I switch out. Who do I switch out to? Yes, I switch out to Nidoboy. Let's go, Nidoboy! And he jumps in, takes, and I was right to do so. We take the Rock Slide. Of course, it doesn't really do much to Nidoboy. And now we have the opportunity to hit him with our own Blizzard. So we have to take a Hyper Beam first. First, he outspeeds us. Oh, had that been a crit, we would have lost him. So that was scary. But the Blizzard, of course, times 4 is definitely going to kill. There's just no question. An Ice Beam would kill an Aerodactyl from Nidoboy level 51. So. Saving that final Dragonite for last, he jumps into his Charizard. So we absolutely have to switch out. Nidoboy has done his job, but he can't fight anymore. We're going to take the Flamethrower with Wild Wing, hoping that the damage won't be too severe due to the typing. And it's really not, but we take the Burn. That's a bit of an issue. So we have to kill off this Charizard quick. A Surf from 10 levels higher should be able to do it. Or 9 levels higher, whatever it is. Should be able to take out the Charizard. It does, because once again, special attack, not known for great special defense, is Charizard. So we end up getting to level 56 and making it a straight 10 levels. So it was a 9 level difference. But now we're burned. So we're facing off against a level 50 Dragonite. We're going to take our chances. We hit the Icy Wind, which once again, I hate Icy Wind because of the low accuracy. It's not that great a damaging move, but it is times 4, and it... Boom! We don't need to worry about the burn. We don't need to worry at all about Dragonite level 50, the strongest Pokemon in Lance's team. Defeated before it had a chance to say boo. And now we have the whole ending now. So, I believe we go through the whole thing again. Maybe we cut it off at some point, but maybe I'm thinking like this is an important part, so I kept it in. Because we did just go through the Elite Four again. It was nerve-wracking. And no, I'm not awarding myself more points. Like, that would be cheap. That would be annoying. You know, like if it's like, oh, well, if I do a perfect run twice in a row, don't I get multiple points? No. You only get the max of 3 points. 2 bonus points if you clear the Elite Four, and the 1 for completing the game. So, we're only still going to have 3 points if we defeat red. So yeah. Now this time I'm going to try to spend my points more wisely if we win, because I only spent 1 point. Realistically, I only spent 1 point intelligently last time. So jumping into our emerald run, I'm definitely going to try to be smarter about my points. So there's Copper, the Raichu. There we have Heracles, the Rhydon. Nido Boy, the Nido King of the Dallas Nido Boys. What a goat. And Apollo Creed, the Primeape. Looking stronger than ever. Boom. Go. Our MVP, the best goalie in Pokemon. Wild Wing, the Golduck. And Calagon, the Orange at this point. Because he looks so goddamn orange, the Charizard. And boom. We're getting good at this, but we have a long way to go. You're goddamn right, Oak. You're goddamn right, because we have at least 6 generations to do, and we're still here in generation 2222. So, yeah, for some reason we left this in. I don't know why I left this in the editing process before we fight Red. But, yeah, how's everybody doing? Usually I have something, like, I'm usually on a ramble, you know, like I normally am on these things, because I gotta edit out things here and there, of course. But yeah, I don't have much. I'm just looking forward to checking out how we do against Red. Obviously we're not going to show all our grinding and training and stuff like that up against Red, or, you know, if we changed anybody out or something like that. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I feel like Emerald's going to be harder, though. Gen 2 can be hard, but I think once you go all the way to the Elite Four, if you survive to the Elite Four from the Johto side, I feel like the Nuzlocke is very easy. I feel like once you get like to Victory Road, from then on, a Nuzlocke has very little that can stop you. Between gyms, you know, 1 to 8 in Johto, there's a lot of obstacles, but I feel like that's the hardest part. Where in the Kanto games, I feel like there's always something to trip you up. I would argue like the later half of the game is much harder to Nuzlocke. So, and then boom. We do actually defeat the Elite Four a second time that we did not have to. It was a good experience, I suppose. And now, boom, here's Red. See, like, what was the point of going through all the credits? But, whoa, look at those levels. Level 72 Rhydon. We taught him Earthquake. We taught him Earthquake and Crunch and stuff, okay? Thunderbolt, Flash, Swift, Thunder Wave on Copper. God damn, look at these levels, level 70. Same attacks as before, I believe. Same attacks as before on Apollo. Same with Wild Wing. We must have got the attack. Yeah, same. So the Earthquake was on Heracles gained Crunch and Earthquake. I believe he gained Crunch, yeah. So we replaced it. So here we go. Us against Red. Which, once again, I like to believe Red won this battle. To be perfectly honest with you, like, canon-wise, Red still won, but anyway, level 81 Pikachu, level 72 Heracles. I do remember the grinding here. Grinding in Mount Silver was fucking annoying. Even with the speed-up function, it was annoying because I like to be honest, and I speed-up function, but I only do that as far as, you know, like, I still, if I die, I lose the Pokemon. I don't count off-screen grinding as not Nuzlocking, so obviously an Earthquake was easily going to kill the Pikachu before it could do anything. Now here comes the Espeon. Now in other games it's a Lapras. I don't know why they changed this in later games, but Espeon is Red's Eevee. So boom, we go for the Earthquake up against the Reflecting Espeon. Obviously, it doesn't do very much. So this is where I'm thinking about it. And I say, fuck it, we'll go for another one. Psychic on 282 HP brings us down to 133. And our Earthquake, once again, oh! That was like an Alakazam right there, and we got rid of it. Now it's a Venusaur time. Alright, so our Heracles has done his job. Right on. You are a goat. Sit down on the bench. And Caligon time. We knew he was going to charge up for that Solar Beam. We knew it, so we had a free switch in to Caligon. And boom, Caligon. Flamethrower, baby. Boom, hit that Venusaur. Should one-shot. And it does. Level 75 versus 77. We're only a couple levels below. We got this. Sends out the Blastoise. Okay. Switch out. Now this is dangerous. We switch out to Copper. Goes for the Rain Dance. No. And the Reflect is gone. And the Thunderbolt with our special attack stat. This should one-shot. Maybe the crit mattered, but I don't think it did. I think our Thunderbolt was good enough. We are getting so lucky in this match. Here comes problem 101. The Snorlax. So we Thunderbolt them. And it does quarter. Here comes the Amnesia. Special defense went way up. We got to go for the physical attack. We go to Apollo. Because he's just going to keep using Amnesia. Not going to be able to do shit to his body fat. He goes for the Body Slam instead. Doing massive damage to Apollo. Massive. So we go for the Cross Chop. It hits. It hits. Cross Chop, the strongest fighting move versus the Snorlax. I know that critical hit mattered, and I don't care. Boom, baby. Yes, yes, yes. Here comes the Charizard. I know this battle looks like it's all going in our favor 100%, because it is. We have gotten 3 critical hits that absolutely mattered at the very least. A 2.5 to 3 critical hits, 100% made the difference right here. Switching into our MVP Wild Wing to call it a night, call it a day is fine, but this battle was intense. It doesn't look it on paper. It looks like I'm doing this with relative ease, making such a rocks, make such a breeze, you know, DK64, DK rap style. But no, this was an intense fucking fight, and you know, I was worried the whole time. I was worried I was gonna lose somebody. If I was gonna lose somebody, it'd be worthy to lose them to red. It'd be worthy to lose them to red. But yeah, we do actually win our gold leg. The gold GenLocke challenge is 100% complete, and we didn't rip a single goddamn Pokemon. Woo! Let's go, people. Have a drink on me for this, because yeah, I played this one sometimes stupidly, but clearly played it flawlessly because I didn't lose shit. Now, the kicker is we got 3 points for this because we didn't lose anybody. Obviously, we cleared the Elite Four, and we get a completion point. I got to think long and hard before starting the Emerald run of the challenge. I definitely have to think that. But I mean, I don't think it was necessarily easy. Certainly having some goated choices that you would bring into the Pokemon you would normally choose, and starting with a 6 Pokemon party is obviously going to give you a slight advantage starting any Nuzlocke. But I still think that I did very well. And I've failed easier challenges. So I just think we did really, really hot here. You know, is our luck streak gonna run out? Probably. I don't pretend that this whole team is gonna take me all the way through 6 generations. We're gonna lose people. We're definitely gonna lose some folk. So yeah. But either way, I'm incredibly happy with how the gold leg of the run went, obviously, because we didn't lose anybody. And I'm going to have to think long and hard of who is going to be the most viable in the long term and who I give the points to. Last time, I only had one useful contribution, which was Psychic to Psyduck. This time, ideally I'd want to make 3, but I already have an idea in mind for one of them that is another vain choice. So, as a result, I think we're only going to be looking at 2 honest choices. But I was taking a quick peek on where, like what egg moves, move tutors, and stuff like that I could learn for my guys. And realistically speaking, there's not really a lot of options yet from Gens 2 to 3. So we might be looking at actual IV changes this time. Right? Because as I said, it can be whatever you want pretty much. Something that, as long as it can be edited and it's not broken or OP, you can do it. So we might be looking at adding some 31 IVs permanently. Right? Going forward for some certain Pokemon. That might be our changes. It might be less exciting than adding, you know, Flamethrower to a Charmander, you know what I mean? But yeah. Anyways, we'll have to wait and see for that, but we did win, guys, so that's 2 legs of the GenLocke down. I'm really kind of excited to start Emerald. At the time of recording right now, I haven't actually started Emerald. So this video might not be out for a while until I start that. What I like to do is play the game at my leisure, so I'm not like stressed to play it and get videos out on time. And then I like to edit it after the fact, like this, when I know I've already completed 1 leg of the run or 1 game. You know what I mean? So because that way I have all the graphics in place, everything, and then it's just a 3-4 hours of editing before everything's set to go for each video. So. I haven't actually started Emerald yet, but now that this video is recorded and finished, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. I might even start it tonight. I have no idea, but I'm really looking forward to it, man. I mean, this is, yeah, I'm really excited to see where I can take this team next, and at the very least, I'm gonna end this recording. I'm gonna research where I want to allot my 3 points because we won, people. Let's go! Celebration. Candy, fireworks, cotton candy even, who knows? Roller coasters, let's go. We're starting a fair here. We're starting a festival. Yeah, so either way, that's it for me, guys. I had a great time playing this particular leg of the run, and I'm looking forward to the next leg because I love the update in the graphics and stuff, of course, the GBA did. I really like Gen 3. Gen 3 is an awesome generation. So yeah, I can't wait to start the Emerald run of this GenLocke. Hope you guys have been enjoying these videos thus far. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always though. And we will see you guys back here next time for the next leg of our great Pokemon GenLocke Challenge. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. And don't forget, leave your suggestions for where I should allot the points to our current Hall of Fame team here in the comment section down below. You never know. Maybe you're thinking of something that's so obvious that I totally goes over my head. You know, I made mistakes in the first, you know, from red to gold. You know, it's very possible that I make an obvious, you know, mistake from gold to emerald. Entirely possible. So definitely leave me your suggestions in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys back here next time for the Emerald Run, the 3rd leg of our GenLocke. Looking forward to it, people. See you back here next time. Have a good one. sayonara, Pokemon trainers.